Well, you guys were right. As far as accommodations go in Hong Kong, hotels are definitely the way to go. And unfortunately for us, we learned that the hard way.
You're just not sleeping here.
Our trip to Hong Kong was off to a super rough start. We had terrible weather, then we both got sick, and then right as we were getting better, our neighbor decided to start doing a construction project. And I mean, they were doing this, like hammering loudly all day and all night. It is 11:36 p.m. and the neighbor is hammering. And guys, we really tried to make this Airbnb work. There was a point where we even picked up our mattress and moved it into the kitchen because we were so desperate to get some sleep because it was so noisy and that was the quietest room in the house. And unfortunately, that didn't work either. So we just got to the point where we were so sleep deprived that we were like, you know what? Screw it, like I don't care for double paying for rent. I don't care what Hong Kong costs, like we need to sleep. And we are moving right now. This is the Harbour Grand Hotel, Hong Kong. And this is where we decided to base ourselves for the remainder of our trip.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Most importantly, it's quiet.
And really quick before we move on, I wanted to thank you guys so much for commenting on the last video and recommending we move to a hotel instead because the experience was so much better. But at this point, we only had about a week left in Hong Kong and there was still so much that we wanted to see and do around the city. So we came up with this idea to make a bucket list of all of the best things to do in Hong Kong and cross off as many things as possible from this list, starting with Mong Kok, a neighborhood whose name literally translates to busy corner. I had heard it described as Hong Kong in its purest form, and I think that's what initially drew us here and why we tried to stay in this part of the city. It's somewhere that just feels genuine. And even though we couldn't handle its intensity, I think it still deserves a place on everyone's Hong Kong bucket list. Being one of the most densely populated areas in the world, it has some seriously incredible street food and a vibrant market scene. So something else we knew we wanted to do in Hong Kong was try out a Cheen Tang, which is a type of breakfast restaurant that serves a unique blend of Western and Chinese cuisines.
It's a little weird, you know, by American standards.
You can definitely feel the like British influence.
Yeah, but I got a fried chicken steak, which was like fantastic. Honestly, it was like, you know, deep fried, like chicken thigh. And then mine came with eggs and white bread.
And I got, it said like a cream mushroom omelet, which I wasn't expecting to have sliced ham in it. What else did I get? A pancake and a sausage. The pancake and the sausage, loved. Omelet, I don't know. To be honest, this hasn't been my favorite style of breakfast.
It's good.
The tea is really good too.
It's a really strong black tea with condensed evaporated milk and sugar. Best of all though, for all this, it's cheap and fast. Like you're in and out in like 15 minutes, even when it's like so crowded.
After experiencing Hong Kong's affordable and fast-paced breakfast scene alongside a few strangers, we decided to catch a train to one of the city's most popular tourist attractions so that we could cross it off our bucket list. Today we're going to Victoria Peak, which is the tallest mountain on Hong Kong Island, and it's listed as one of the top things to do here because it's supposed to have amazing views over the city. We'll see if we get those views because once again, it's very cloudy. We have been striking out with the weather, but I'm excited to see it. The most popular way to get to the peak is by riding the famous Peak Tram, a funicular with a scenic ride to the top.
It's 88 Hong Kong dollars per person, round trip. It's not open yet for us though. It doesn't open until 7:30 and it's about 6:30 right now. So we are going to be taking a hike up to the top. It's supposed to take about an hour of a walk. We'll see, we'll see.
Being a bit too early for the tram ended up working out really well for us because we stumbled into another one of our bucket list spots on the way.
So one of the places we really wanted to check out, and it's only like a minor detour, is the Hong Kong Zoological and Botanical Gardens. It's one of the oldest zoos and gardens in the whole world. It opens at 6 a.m. and it's free.
Yep, it's
Let's
free.
go. This is a surprisingly nice zoo.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. You can tell that the zoo is pretty old because all the plants are like really huge and have all these secondary growths on them. It's a lot bigger than it seems like it would be too. And there's all these paths that kind of take you up and down to the different exhibits.
And there's a lot of people here like enjoying themselves doing Tai Chi and stuff.
I think it would be, if you're hiking up to Victoria Peak, a worthwhile stop. Or even on the way back or something when
Or
you're
if you're
getting off
just
the
in
tram.
Central.
Yeah.
It's like a nice break from the city.
It is. And you can still see the city.
Yeah.
It's like nestled right within the city.
It's so beautiful up here. I can barely believe we're even in Hong Kong still.
Yeah, I honestly did not know that Hong Kong had like this side to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of stumbling over my words today. I'm getting a little distracted. It is so humid up here. Glasses wearers, you might want to put on some contacts for this one because I'm fogging the whole way up.
Yeah. And
It is just insanely humid.
don't wear pants.
Yeah, don't wear pants, Alan. Knew we were going hiking. Guys, gotta show you this view.
Look at that view.
Yeah, so the weather said it was gonna be sunny today. Obviously, it is not sunny today, but it's still really cool. I like the fog. It adds like a cool, hazy atmosphere. But definitely wait for a very sunny day if you want to get like the iconic Hong Kong photos. Yeah.
After taking a few minutes to admire the peak's foggy atmosphere, we purchased tickets to ride the Peak Tram back down the mountain because we knew we couldn't miss crossing this top Hong Kong experience off of our bucket list.
Wow, the Peak Tram was actually so cool.
Yeah, it was like a slow motion roller coaster.
Yeah, it was so steep and it was so smooth too. I read that they had just replaced the trams and added more glass and stuff, so it was all shiny and new. And, ooh, I
Very
loved
cool.
that.
Worth
Yeah.
Worth the money.
Absolutely.
And the time savings too.
I
Oh
know.
my.
I kind of wish we had done the round trip, but at the same time, I enjoyed the hike up.
Yes.
Next, we made our way to the outskirts of downtown Hong Kong to visit the Wong Temple, which is the city's most famous Taoist temple, best known for answering people's prayers.
This is so pretty. There's so many beautiful details. They have golden walls that are sparkling in the sunlight and all these colorful statues.
And great landscaping.
Yeah, and I also like that it's a temple nestled among the Hong Kong cityscape. I also love the music they play here. It's not playing like constantly, but it's very upbeat, which I don't know. I feel like when you go to a temple, you would more expect it to be kind of like serious. And here it's like do, 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 do. I love it.
We loved wandering around the temple grounds and the adjacent Good Wish Garden, but we couldn't spend too long there because just a 15-minute walk away is another bucket list spot.
So, to be honest, before coming to Hong Kong, I didn't really know a whole lot about it, which is pretty normal. We tend to kind of learn about these places as we go. So I was reading about Hong Kong and its history and some of the stuff to do here, and something that kind of captured my imagination, and I think a lot of other people's imaginations too, is the Kowloon walled city. It was the most densely populated city on Earth ever. So they think about 30 to 50,000 people lived in this little tiny space.
6.5 acres.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was the center of crime and lawlessness. It was kind of like this, I don't want to say horrible place. It seems like people fondly recall living here and they liked it.
Yeah.
And it's popular in common memory, but it sounds terrible to me. It was a British outpost in the 1800s, and it was kind of neglected politically when the Chinese took it back over after the end of the war, and then was never really on anybody's radar, so it kind of got to grow up in a way that there was no regulation whatsoever, and so there was like no sanitation, and all the power was stolen, and no building codes, and people just stacked buildings on top of each other. And because of this, there was like no tax, and that brought in a ton of people, right? So there was like a bunch of factories here making all sorts of things, and you know, bakeries and fish balls.
Dentists.
And
That was like a big one, like unlicensed dentists.
Yeah, and prostitution, and like something like a third of the heroin in the region was like processed in just like one street. Anyways, it was like a very fun time, but I guess a terrible time too. So the city eventually demolished it in the 1990s, and now there's this park here that has some museums left and, you know, a few artifacts, but you really can't tell. It's mostly like classical Chinese garden.
Yeah, it's beautiful now.
It's very peaceful. You'd never thought that like 50,000 people lived in this little spot.
It's crazy.
It's like 4 football fields.
Yeah,
It's
we've
like,
been walking around it. I was like, wow, this is like really small.
yeah, it's very small, yeah. Except when you need to find the bathroom. There's only like one, and it's all the way across the park from the visitor center, so.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go explore.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like when you're reading about this place in the reviews, say that it's kind of lame, but I totally disagree. This is a beautiful park. Totally worth visiting, in my opinion. In my opinion. But we gotta go head to the next thing now.
The next attraction was not only on our Hong Kong bucket list, but our greater travel bucket list too. Just about an hour outside of the city center by train is Hong Kong Disneyland. As fans of the Disneyland parks, this was a must visit for us and our 5th of the 6 Disney parks. Starting our day here was a little bit chaotic.
For your safety, please walk to your first destination. Thank you, and have a magical day.
This isn't fun.
Despite the unexpected early morning workout and this being Disney's smallest and least popular park, we still had an amazing time. We really appreciated the short wait times and that we could do pretty much everything that we wanted in a half day, which was perfect because we still had a lot left to see in Hong Kong. So we came to this area called Upper Lascar Row, which is also known as Cat Street, and they are supposed to have a bunch of cool little markets and stuff for like, I think like tourist goods. I'm not sure because unfortunately due to our schedule, everything is still closed. But on the upside, we did discover why Cat Street is called Cat Street, and I'm very pleased about it. This was the bucket list item I didn't know I needed. Pet a cat on Cat Street.
Bright orange eyes are so pretty.
You know, I don't know if it's actually for tourist stuff because online I read that this is an antiques area.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have seen like not only a really, really cool temple, but some shops that have some like really, really, really old Chinese antiques, which I thought was super cool. They had like old like pottery statues from like the Han period and stuff. It's crazy. I think that's really neat. And cats. Next up was a little food adventure to cross off a few of Hong Kong's most popular snacks from our bucket list. The iconic Egg Tart, which is supposed to be a little more subtle in flavor and lighter than its British counterpart. And a Pineapple Bun, one of our favorite baked treats in Asia, and they originated right here in Hong Kong.
Whoa, it's flakier than I thought. Is it just egg?
I don't know. So I was gonna have you try it.
It looks like custardy.
It is a custard.
It's like a very egg flavored custard. I guess that makes sense for an egg tart. I could get behind that.
It's not a pineapple bun.
It's not a pineapple bun.
I mean, it looks like one vaguely, but it's not crispy and crunchy like one.
They called it one.
Yeah, but it's a white bread hot dog bun with the pineapple bun layered on top. Like
No, that's not okay.
Yeah, it's...
Rip! I can't believe I dropped it.
Something else we wanted to try was Chinese food. Hong Kong has many regional Chinese cuisines available, and because we love Chinese cuisine, sampling a few different dishes was on our list.
I got Wong, which is like a wheat flour, you know, that's like fermented.
Interesting.
Yeah, into like a big cake and then like sliced up. So I guess technically not a noodle, maybe like a pancake. So anyway, it comes with chili and vinegar and these little delicious spicy peas and a generous helping of cilantro and peeled cucumber. It's so good. But it's really spicy. This is like the type of Chinese food they like warn you about. This place is called Wonton Hot.
And I got Dan rolls, which is like a Sichuan style dish. Although in Hong Kong they do it more soupy, like in China they do it with scones. So the soupy version is more popular, kind of like all over the place. This is very like chicken soup. It's good. It's a bomb. That was pretty dang tasty.
And about 10 US dollars.
Not bad.
About right on. 74.
Yeah, not bad for Hong Kong. I would recommend that place.
Definitely.
It's one of my favorite things we've eaten here. Granted, we don't really get to eat anything past noon, but...
So you've probably seen pictures of this next spot because it's such an iconic photo location, and it's even been featured in a couple of movies. This is Hong Kong's Monster Building, and there isn't anything particularly interesting about it, maybe other than it being an example of the city's impressive urban density, but it was one of those things I just really wanted to see for myself. Like 7,000 to 10,000 people live
in this complex. They don't really want you taking photos and stuff inside anymore. At least that's what I think. I couldn't really tell if it was drones or photos, so we just took a couple quick shots and got out. But there it is.
For our next bucket list item, we started our day early to catch the train out to Lantau Island, which is home to Nong Ping 360, another one of Hong Kong's most popular attractions. It's a cable car that takes you up into the mountains, but we decided we wanted to hike up instead and then ride the gondolas back down.
It seems like we've found the trailhead right here. It's actually a bit of a walk from the train station, maybe like half an hour, so it takes a little bit of time. But this is called the Rescue Trail, and I think, in theory, it was originally a trail for firefighters and stuff to get up there underneath the gondolas. So far, trail is very well maintained, but it is challenging, very challenging. I am not a sweaty person. I almost never sweat, and I am like dripping so bad it's getting in my eyes and making it so I can't see. Yeah, we can see the gondola, so it very much does follow the shadow of the gondola. That is what most sane people do to get up the mountain. But, you know, I guess we're not very sane. And I'm also learning you have to go uphill and back downhill, and uphill and back downhill. I just thought it was going to be like a straight shot uphill, and it is not. It's so much worse. Do you have any commentary?
Brandy's being a little like, I don't know. You're overselling it. There's like grandmas up here.
Fit grandmas.
But they're like in their 70s, probably 80s.
In all fairness, they're ripped.
Yeah, but come on. They're up here. Well, they call it Nong Ping Village, but yeah, it's essentially a shopping mall. It's actually quite welcome after everything we just went through.
All right, can you see it right there, right there? We made it to the big Buddha at the Nong Ping Village, and it's pretty cool. It's one of the biggest Buddha statues in the world, if you didn't know.
Wow.
But unfortunately, with our schedule, where we have to go to bed at like 12:30 p.m., we don't actually have time to explore the village or actually hike up to the Buddha, but I'm glad we got to see it at all.
For sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to come back to Hong Kong when our schedule is a little bit better, but we have to hustle back, and we're going to be catching the gondola for that.
Yeah.
Because
2 hours back to the hotel from this point.
Yeah.
We have 2 hours until bedtime.
Yeah, so we gotta
Get going.
Thank you.
390.
Yeah, it's expensive, that's what I told you.
The gondola, although not a budget attraction, was actually really cool. The ride takes about 30 minutes and passes over the most beautiful, lush mountains and the Tung Chung Bay. After getting off of the gondola, we stopped by their gift shop and ended up getting a magnet for a collection.
We hadn't seen any Hong Kong ones yet because of our schedule, but we just found one and it's perfect. Reminds me so much of Hong Kong, it's so cute.
And then we continued working on our bucket list. But first, breakfast in Central.
So our next little adventure is starting out in the Central and Admiralty area, which is kind of like a higher end business district part of town.
It's the financial district. We're like literally in like the China Bank building.
I think so. But anyways, we got some like super luxe breakfast.
Oh yeah, look at that pie.
Roast tomato and mushrooms. They were were so beautiful, we couldn't resist.
It's so delicious. All the different layers all together. And the cream is just the right balance of sweet. And it's got a lot of hazelnut in it, so it's almost like a sweetened hazelnut bun, if you will.
That bakery, so dang good, so dang good. Can't recommend it enough. And in that building, which is conveniently right across the street, or I guess, what would you call this? Skywalk from Hong Kong Park.
There's a street. There's a street underneath that.
Hong Kong Park is enormous and has multiple attractions within it, including a walk-through aviary and a conservatory, which is why we added it to our bucket list.
What is it doing?
Well, that was pretty fun, but I think it's time to go and do something else.
Let's go.
Something we knew we absolutely could not miss in Hong Kong was trying out some of their dim sum, which is probably the most popular dish here.
So we came to a dim sum restaurant, and this one is open early, and it's kind of like I don't know, kind of hipster type place. Like a, what do you call it?
Non-traditional.
Non-traditional. And our first little dim sums came out.
Oh, yeah. All right, Rand. Get on in there. Those are the chopstick skills people came for. What do you think it is?
Hot. It's a very rich, like, meaty flavor. It's definitely meat of some sorts. It almost tastes like a gravy.
Whoa.
It reminds me of Australian meat pies.
See what you mean about meat pies. This one is smoked duck. It's okay. It kind of tastes like, you know, those little, like, smoked sausages you get.
Little smokies.
Yeah, it kind of tastes like that.
I got the premium dim sum set. I'm gonna have to look at this menu real quick because I just got what was like advertised. So this is a pea mash bun, truffle assorted fungus dumpling, salted egg cuttlefish shumai, shrimp dumpling with bamboo shoot, crab roe and spinach dumpling, and pickled vegetables and fish dumpling. Which one should I start with? I'm gonna go with the egg cuttlefish. I don't think I've ever had cuttle. No, I've had cuttlefish, but only dried. But I haven't had salted egg. I wasn't expecting it to like explode. Look at the inside. It like popped.
All right, what next, Rand?
I think I'm gonna do the pickled vegetables and fish. I'm gonna do all the ones you're not gonna like first. Wow, that one's really spicy. Mala, which is like Sichuan peppers. It's not very common in America. It's all over Asia, and it's like this spice that makes your mouth go numb. It's like just a different sensation. Crab roe and spinach time. So roe are eggs, in case you didn't know. That's what those little orange things are.
In case you didn't row.
Tastes like sushi. The spinach gets totally lost, but it's good.
Can I do the truffle one?
Yeah? He should have ordered a whole set of those. I guess you still can.
It's so delicious. It's so savory. There's like a soy sauce jelly inside, and a bunch of different mushrooms, and then, of course, fresh truffle tastes like.
So next, I want to do this cute little pea mash bun. I don't know what I was expecting, but those are indeed mashed peas inside, and it's like a delicious little steam bun. last one in this premium dim sum plate. It's the shrimp and the bamboo shoot. You know,
That's like the only normal one.
yeah, I think this is like something you would get at like any dim sum place. The shrimp here is really good.
So my next plate came out, and I got beef ball and morels.
What's a morel?
It's a type of mushroom. There's a lot of seafood, but a lot of mushrooms in Chinese cuisine. And I love my mushrooms. It's incredibly too hot.
Do you want to give it a minute to cool then? We could eat something. Okay.
Very strange. Very strange. There's like gravy inside. The whole thing is incredibly pungent of cilantro. And it's very finely minced pork, or pork beef, that's almost like a beef paste, so it's rubbery, like almost like the consistency of an eraser when you bite into it. But it doesn't taste like an eraser, obviously. It's very delicious.
Thanks for clarifying that one, Alan. So what was this one?
Some sort of truffle shumai. And they seem like they might be fish or something based, shrimp based. I'll let you be the taste tester.
It does have shrimp, and it's very truffly.
Oh, I see.
Like, and it's good shrimp. I was just showing Alan, like, it's a shame he doesn't like seafood because all the seafood dishes here have been really good. Like, everything else for me has been like, it's good, but the seafood is like... He doesn't
You're
like
right.
seafood.
But it is very truffly, but it's also very fishy. Good enough for seconds, though.
There you go.
Dim sum, not a bad way to start the day. How much was the total?
Actually, 251. There was 24 for each pot of tea.
Yeah, they didn't list the tea as part of it, but it's not a big deal. It wasn't that much, and it was really good tea.
It was. I just wish it was earlier, so.
Yeah, so we could have enjoyed all of it.
Yeah, I
And we
know.
had gotten one pot.
I know. I got literally to drink half a cup of tea because, like, it's the equivalent of like,
Whatever.
8 o'clock at night for us.
Just a misunderstanding, but it was good. I really enjoyed that place.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah. Next, we're headed to the Victoria Harbour for another must-do bucket list item.
So, one of the famous things to do in Hong Kong is take the Star Ferry, which is the iconic green and white ferry you may have seen in movies or photographs. It's supposed to be pretty affordable and it just takes you across the bay. So,
Yeah, it's supposed to be nice views, and the weather is lovely today, so it'll be perfect for it. The ride, while only a few minutes long, is beautiful and such a cool way to experience the city. And not to mention, a convenient way to get across the harbor.
The ride is so smooth. Like, I know it's a bay, but the harbor. But it's like, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I was just resting the camera on the little ledge here, and just buttery smooth.
You want to talk about how cool the view is?
The view is amazing. I didn't even think I needed to say that, babe.
Another plus to the Star Ferry is that it terminates right by another bucket list spot. So this walk is called the Avenue of Stars, and I guess Hong Kong has a pretty big film industry, so I know everybody hates it when I compare stuff, but I think it's supposed to be kind of like the Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. Like, instead of stars, they have like handprints, and then there's a couple statues. That's all I really know, other than it's a beautiful walk by the harbor.
Do you know any film stars from Hong Kong?
Jackie Chan?
Wow. Wow.
Pretty dang close. Pretty dang close.
You know, I
I think your hands would fit, but
kind of like this though. It's cool.
it is. You ready to see like the fanciest mall ever? The K11 Musea was not originally a spot on our bucket list, but we thought it would make a good addition because it's so unique.
The whole thing is like an art installation. And in fact, they do have little art things everywhere, in addition to the building itself being very well crafted.
If If you're into art, shopping, or you just want to see a cool mall, this is a worthwhile stop. But our favorite thing about most places is nature. And next up on our bucket list is a trail that was recommended to us by a Hong Konger. When starting this trail, I actually ended up hitting my head pretty hard on a tree, so I didn't get many shots. But I guess the head injury was worth it because the views were amazing.
So this was a bucket list item that I really didn't think we were going to get to see when we first got here. But our hotel is right by it, so we were able to hike up to the Red Incense Burner Summit, which has, I think, my favorite view over Hong Kong we've had so far. It's really amazing.
I don't know why it's called the Red Incense Burner Summit though.
Yeah, if you know why, let us know. I was actually curious about that. I felt like Red Incense Burner Summit was an interesting name for a hike.
Yeah, I thought there would be like a little temple up here, shrine, maybe somebody who's burning incense.
Maybe it is in a way.
The vantage point over the city skyline was great, but there was still one more way that we wanted to see it, and that was at nighttime, specifically during the Symphony of Lights show. Every night at 8 p.m. they light up the entire Hong Kong skyline and synchronize it with music. The show was so pretty, and I thought it was so cute that even the boats on the harbor participated, but that was the last must-do thing on our bucket list, except for one huge thing that we missed.
That was my third time seeing a junk boat, and the sail was down again. The sail's always down. Why is the sail always down? I want to see like the one like that. I want to see that. That's iconic. Oh, it's our last night. I'm not gonna get to see it. We never did end up getting to see a junk boat with its sail up, but I think that just means we'll have to come back. Well, I think that just about wraps up our time in Hong Kong. And you know, given the initial situation, I'm pretty happy with everything we accomplished here. I feel like we really saw almost everything we could given the schedule, the weird schedule we have. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.